Chase, I have done a lot of what I think is necessary and fun, but probably very dumb things in your eyes.
Okay, it's a day that ends with Y, so sure.
I have purchased 4 things
Oh, God.
in the last week and some change due to recent events.
Uh-huh.
And
I've heard about some of these things.
I think you know most of them, but there's one that's pretty recent here that I'm sure will get a scoff out of you. But I think that you, of most people, can appreciate somebody's desire to collect things that they think are neat.
Sure. Okay.
So I have purchased 3 more Android handheld devices and an 8 terabyte external hard drive.
Well, I'm certainly a fan of buying external hard drives. I buy them all the time.
I got a pretty good deal on it in this economy, but still more than I wanted to pay.
Sure.
So I have purchased the Ambernick RG Rotate, which should be here any day now, which you're aware of. That's the closest thing to a play date from like a gimmick standpoint. I got the Trimu Brick Pro, which is a vertical handheld. It is a Linux-based handheld, which is interesting. So the Trimu Brick is it's TRIMUI. The Trimu Brick is like a lot of people's go-to pocketable. It is just a small, solid, very approachable. Like I would say that these are like the budget picks, by the way. Like some of these are more enthusiast. Like the RG Rotate is just kind of a gimmicky thing. Mm-hmm. But the Brick, people swear up and down by it. Like there is a large population of people that adore that thing.
Yeah, this seems like, hey, I didn't get an analog pocket, so I can get
100%.
But this does have the regular Brick. Okay, there's also a Brick Hammer.
Brick Hammer's just metal.
Okay, but the Brick Hammer doesn't have the analog sticks on it, like the Brick.
Correct.
So
correct.
The Brick is. I mean, are you able to play? I'm guessing you're able to play like PS1. Can you even get
that's like the ceiling? PS1 would be the ceiling on it. Okay. But that is again, I think it's a pretty cool device. There's some really neat stuff. Like people have made different OSs that you can load onto that with like some Linux stuff on it. It's got a beautiful screen. I'm pretty sure it's an OLED on that one as well. The Pro model is a slightly larger screen than the other one, but I think the Brick is like $80 or somewhere in that range. And one Jeff Grubb, that is like one of his go-to devices. I've found out he's a big fan of that. And then the other one you and I talked about, and as I was like looking at my collection of things, like I wanted to fill a few gaps of just like what they can accomplish and what they can do. And I think the Thor is still going to be like the crown jewel in what I'm building here. But the price to spec on the Retroid Pocket Nova that's going to ship at the end of the month, I just think that thing looks really fucking slick. It's like $200, and what you get for $200 on that thing is pretty fucking fantastic. That can play all the way up to Switch games, like if you are capable of doing that. So
but it is a single screen device. So
it's a single screen for 3
DS games. Yeah.
Like that kind of feels like the Game Boy Advance to me, where
sure.
I've got a couple other, like I've got my analog pocket, and that thing is feeling more and more just like buy some physical carts, play that thing. And also, there's a lot of cool shit you can do with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the only thing I would want more at this point is if there was like an Android device that was around like the $400 to $500 mark that was equivalent to like the screen size of a Switch. Like if I could have something that had a little bit bigger palette to take in some of these bigger like single player games from back then, I at that price point I'd probably be into it. But I've just really wanted to like, and we're not going to talk a lot about it, but just more gesture that there's a lot of stuff happening around digital media, not only with video games, but it's been going on with music. It's been going on in movies for a long time and streaming. And The cost of hardware, like all these things have gone up by a couple $100 since I've been looking at this stuff, including hard drives, and there's really no end in sight. Ceasefires just got removed again. AI continues to be going, and it's like, hey, if you're going to get this stuff, get it if you're in a position to get it. And I'm not here to like flaunt spending money on things. It's not about that. Like, I'm financially in a position to do that. I don't have any kids. My wife and I both work full time. Like, she's cool with me buying shit like this. And I'm not buying $5,000 handhelds, which are out there on the market now, which is fucking crazy. So
give it time.
Give it time. But yeah, I am excited to get these. I plan on, what I'm really excited about is I have everything kind of set up right now to where I have, sync thing configured. So I should just be able to point like GBA folder at these devices and just move stuff over to it and go that route, and including save states. So I can kind of have like cloud syncing between these devices and just have one to go. But I've been doing a little bit more sitting outside and just having something in my pocket. It's kind of nice just to get back into those things.
Why would you be sitting outside when it's like 100 degrees every fucking day?
Well, I've been trying to get a little sunlight. I was low on vitamin D when I got my last labs done, and I'm trying to like be a bit more active and walking every day, taking the dogs with me. But we've got a little not tent, but we got a canopy on our back patio, and we can put a fan in that. And depending on the time of day, like I wasn't doing it last week, of course, but
sure.
Yeah, man. I think that if buying is not owning, like there's some gray areas that people can kind of live within.
Yes, if these big companies are going to fuck us over, we're going to fuck them over right back, which seems to be. I think we're going to be discussing that a little bit more today.
Yeah, I just also like I'm finding some cool stuff with these handhelds, and I've been tinkering a lot with the front ends and the OSs and all that, and yeah, man, this has been a fun little thing to kind of go down the rabbit hole on. It's my hyperfixation, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So got a couple new things coming in. Maybe we can do some unboxing type shit and show off some of those. I know we covered them in a deep dive not that long ago, but maybe I can show off some of the stuff on a Monday night or something and walk you through some of those.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, as you mentioned, it's not been great in the games industry, but that has not kept you and I from playing games. The games
that hasn't kept you from playing games,
despite a lot of efforts from other things.
My whole general deal has kept me from playing video games, but not that.
Yeah,
specifically.
But I finished what I would say is one of the better games of the year. And that is, I'm not going to talk a lot about it because I think we've kind of exhausted it, but Mina the Hollower. I got credits on that. I don't think I saw everything that game has. There's a ton of secrets and secret endings and all that, but I think I put like 18 hours into that. And
that's a good amount of time.
Yeah. If you go from when you and I played that demo to where I felt after seeing credits, pretty remarkable turn of events on Mina.
We used to have for our game of the year like the most disappointing, which was high expectations versus low result. Yeah. And I think after that demo, you would have gone, oh yeah, this is most disappointing for sure. Thinking about the pedigree of hey, Shovel Knight and Yacht Club Games, and they made such solid stuff, and you really bounced off that demo hard.
Yeah.
But now it sounds like you would wrap back around to best surprise.
I mean, dude, like I don't know if I'm ready to like plant this flag. I mean, maybe in July, knowing there's a shit ton of stuff coming out, but there was a point when I was playing, I'm like, is this the best thing I've played this year? Like that thought crossed my mind a few times playing it. Like it was an incredibly high writing experience. I think the world building's really cool. I think Mina is an awesome character. I really liked, I kind of like, even though I thought I knew how it would wrap up, there was some cool surprises with things. And the gameplay continued to build in a really fun way. I think the different levels and enemy types you get to, finding out like, because I ended up getting all the weapons. Like I thought you kind of picked one and ran with it, and you end up getting to get those and upgrade them. It's fucking great, man. Like that game is so good. The music is some of my favorite in recent years. And we've talked a lot about pixel art, but I think that game's got really good pixel art. And the way that they weave and do shortcuts and how things kind of open up and you go and do some really weird shit. It had very old Nintendo feels in the best way. But recently, there is another game I've been playing, and I think I mentioned it to you on Monday, either during the stream or, I sent it to you. It was like, hey, do you want to see this or that? And the game is TerraTech Legion. So the way I could basically build this is Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts meets Vampire Survivor. And TerraTech is a game from 2018. I've learned that its whole thing was about building weird fucking vehicles out of shit around you, and that was like an open world game. I own it somehow. I think maybe through like Humble Bundle or something like that, where it was tacked on. I've never played it, but this game, I heard a few other outlets I trust talking about like, hey man, like this thing's scratching my brain in a way I need right now. And I'm like, I'll take that distraction. And it is pretty slick. So you have 4 heroes that you can play as. You have to unlock all of them doing various questing in the game. Once you get settled in, you pick the character. They have a couple passive traits. They have like an alt trait that you can get with them. But the real fun is every time you level up, you are presented with a bunch of different components and you go into a very tactile build screen. And it's all kind of like snap to grid. You can drag parts in, you're moving your vehicle around, but you can just kind of throw shit on and make the most god-awful looking creations that just slaughter things. Now, I've only unlocked one other character, but there's some really cool stuff that happens. So the basic controls, it's auto fire like you would expect from this Vampire Survivor. Like you're moving all around the map. You have a boost also, and your boost will recharge. You can do a lot of things to prolong how your boost is, to shorten how long it takes to recharge it. But the second character, they're a little bit tankier. So every time you boost, you get a shield. And so if there's like a big horde of enemies, you can just like kind of slide through that. Every character has their own skill tree, so you can improve and kind of build things out. But there's a ton of different types of weapons. There's health modules you can add to your vehicle. There are magnets to help pick things up. You can make yourself just real tanky, and also like not necessarily like thorns to a degree, but you can put stuff on that will do damage if people come up to you. You can do the, what do they call those on the front of the trains, like the cow?
Cow catchers.
You can put a big cow catcher on it. You can put, Beyblade type shit on your car. But it's very satisfying to just mow through big hordes of like robotic enemies. I think the main loop is there's a bunch of different levels. Each level has 3 difficulty tiers. Most levels are halfway through kind of a sub boss and then a big boss at the end. But there's hidden things on the map, points of interest, and sometimes there'll be their own bosses there. They drop weapons, they drop upgrade tiles and chips. The game's $7. It's Payload Studios. It came out April 30th, 2026. There is a demo on Steam. I don't know if it's on everything else or not, but it is really, really, really been sticking its hooks in me something fierce as I've been playing through it.
Nice.
Yeah. So lots of cool shit out there. This one has just been a kind of a surprise hit. I'm glad I got into it. I don't think we covered this at all. I don't think we've talked about it on any previews or nothing.
No. I mean, you outside of you showing me that on Monday before we recorded, I hadn't seen it at all.
But maybe sometime I'll show you how stupid my vehicles have looked, because they've looked very dumb as I've just tacked on the most stuff. I will say one fun achievement I got is 1,000 DPS off of my car. It started doing 1,000 DPS as I had maybe 15 guns on it. It was just guns with wheels, which is dumb and good. So TerraTech Legion. Let me just actually check really quick if that's on the Switch.
Does it have the same? When I think about Vampire Survivors kind of games, the thing that really kind of separates them for me is if they have the weapons or abilities that will synergize and combo with each other, where it takes like, hey, I upgraded two of these things, and now they can combine into a completely new form. Does this game have that?
I know. So there is one of the options you get is you can upgrade a weapon. So like, hey, you can either add these two things or you can get an upgrade, and then you can choose what weapon you upgrade. So maybe this is going to answer your question. There's blocks you can get to expand the physical size of the car or vehicle that you have to allow you more places to put things on. Some of those bricks have passive abilities. So like one would be, hey, if you put this on, it's going to increase any explosive damage by 20%. And so maybe you have like a mortar launcher that now is going to be, you can start to like lean into, I'm going to go an explosive route build because I've gotten those upgrades. But then there's some blocks that are they're like the purple tier. Oh, that's the other thing. It's got like the orange, yellow, purple, blue, green, all that. That if you apply it to the frame, it basically just says like, hey, anything on your vehicle is now going to have a 10% cooldown and 15% damage increase. But it's not like the Vampire Survivor or Vampire Crawlers where, hey, you mix garlic with this thing and now you have this thing. I haven't had it do that yet, and I don't think there's a way for it to really do that per se. But there are things you can get via the skill tree. Like I think there is a character that kind of builds on like chaining things up, or there's somebody who's more about like phasing through and doing crit damage from like kind of like a rogue. So like there might be some builds that you can enhance on that, but nothing that's like you've just unlocked this by building a barbed wire bat on top of a wheel. Like nothing stupid like that.
Yeah.
I think it's on at least Xbox and PC. I don't know if it's on anything else though.
Okay. I do like the idea because you did mention that you can get upgrades or you can make the car bigger to add more upgrades to it. That seems like a really cool idea that I would like to see more Vampire Survivors like games play in, of if you physically change your character or the thing that you're playing as, how does that affect the world? Because you would like to be as small as possible in those kinds of games because then you get hit less. So the idea of expanding the size of your character, which allows you to put on more weapons and do more damage, obviously, and that can be a risk reward there. But also this idea that, well, maybe I'm making myself more vulnerable, or I don't know if this game has it, but if you make yourself too big, are there places that you can't get into anymore?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
hey, maybe
totally.
you could go between these two rocks if you were small, but hey, shit, I added too much, so I now have to lumber around in a way that might make me take more damage. And that's a really cool idea that I haven't seen a whole lot of these games experiment with. So it's cool that it seems like this game's at least testing the waters in that space.
Well, where you put the weapons matter a whole lot too, because like I ended up finding a really fun build where I put most of my weapons facing backwards. And so what I would do is that I put like a bulldozer front on my vehicle, and I really boosted up its knockback damage and its boost damage. And then the idea was like, cool, you're just going to cut through all these enemies, and then after you do that, you'll just finish them off by doing that. And the one that probably worked the best was there's an attachment I put under my car that would drop a mine every now and again.
Sure.
And so I started kiting the enemies around me, and I was just going in circles, and they would just blow up. And then I would reverse hit them. So like that's the one thing I will say compared to other ones is there is a lot to really talk about when it comes to momentum and movement. Because the other games, the movement's not really anything besides just dodging. And in this one, I feel like the movement is really the fun part of this. And I don't know, like you just need to kind of see it in action, I think. I will show this one to you for sure. Like I think it'll be a fun one to check out.
Yeah, I think it sounded like a fun Monday night game when I took a look at it, but I know I wanted to look at the Voidlings.
I'm glad we did. That was fun.
Yeah, me too. That was educational for me because I hadn't seen that game either. But yeah, this one, TerraTech Legion seemed kind of cool.
$8, man, in this economy. Grab it. There's a bunch of bundles too. Like they've got it with other shit. There's supporter packs. You can support these guys. But yeah, that's what I've been up to, man. I've been playing a lot of TerraTech, and tonight I think Assassin's Creed unlocks, so I'll be playing that over the weekend.
Very cool. Well, over the holiday weekend, I decided to give one last chance to Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. And yeah. Last week when we talked about, hey, maybe you don't need to finish that game, maybe you don't need to play that game anymore. I think you're probably right. It was, at least I feel like I got into a better groove with it, but I just wasn't having a whole lot of fun.
You didn't finish all the house stories in 3 Houses, did you?
No. I did Golden Deer, and then I started on a Crimson Flower, I think. I was trying to go into the Edelgard route, but the Edelgard route splits into 2 at some point. So there's kind of 4.
Is it Blue Lions the other one?
Blue Lines is the other one, and then the
played.
DLC was the Ashen Wolves. So I wanted to do the Edelgard one, and there's like an Edelgard one that's supposed to be shorter, which is kind of like the bad end, and so I wanted to do that one, but there's something about going back to 3 Houses that I did not like replaying that game, because what it does is sets you back to 0 on all those support things and conversations and the monastery and all that stuff, but it gives you like its way to kind of try to go, oh hey, it's like a new game plus, you can play it, it'll be fine, is to like unlock things that get you unlocks faster. So you can kind of go and say, hey, I'm going to put all these, I forgot what kind of currency, what professor points or authority points or something like that. You can put all those in and you can open up things a lot faster. And I guess that's okay, but it still wants you to do the monastery stuff every fucking time. And going around and doing the gardening or doing the fishing or preparing meals. It's just like, man, this is not what I'm playing this game for. I like doing the supports, and I like going into battles, and I didn't really like doing the monastery in the first playthrough, and I certainly don't want to do the monastery in the second playthrough. And so that's another reason why I wouldn't play Engage again probably at this point, or most of those Fire Emblem games where they want you to have a hub world that you keep doing stuff on. It's the modern Fire Emblem games I think are fun once, and I really just don't want to play them again, which is kind of sad because I think there's a lot of cool story stuff in the 3 Houses game that I would like to play. And it's kind of the same thing with 3 Hopes. I think there's some interesting story stuff going on. I like some of the new characters that they've added in, but as far as I played, I did get to the time skip part, but the kind of mid time skip. And so I now got to see all the costumes for the people. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's what they look like. That's their mid-form costumes. That's cool. But I still don't really understand how this story fits into the 3 Houses story. And it didn't really get explained at all on why my character, Shez, is basically taking the same path that Byleth did. But Byleth is also in the game, but Byleth is a bad guy, but also Byleth is not following the Byleth story from 3 Houses, so I don't know what they're doing there. And I guess I'll never find out.
What I will tell you is there are plenty, and you know this. You should really check out Dark Deity too.
I did. I have a lot of time into Dark Deity in the first one, and then I just didn't finish it. But I wanted to, because then the second game looked pretty cool.
I think the second game, from the little bit I played, I haven't played all of it, but it was really fucking cool.
Yeah. I got more than halfway through the first game and had a pretty solid time with it, but just dropped off and never went back to it for no.
Well, we also got another Fire Emblem in a couple months now too. So
well, that's true, and we also have another Dynasty Warriors game coming in a couple months.
Is that August?
That's October, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was around my birthday. That's right. So
lots of reasons to.
It's hard to get excited about a Fire Emblem a Fire Emblem Dynasty Warriors game that isn't that fun when I know there is going to be a new Dynasty Warriors game that is going to be very fun to me, and a new Fire Emblem game that I hope will be fun for me. I think it probably will. But
and there's a Star Wars game that will be some turn-based tactics shit too, which will be fun. Hopefully.
Absolutely.
So
and also, I had so much fun with the Life of Saros on the Thor, and I've got access to a billion other Fire Emblem ROM hacks that I could play if I wanted to. There's also certainly older Fire Emblem games that I could go back to and play that I've never played. So I have a lot of options in front of me if I wanted to go that route. So I think at this point I can put 3 hopes down and go, it was worth trying.
You try. I mean, you went back to it too. I mean, like you tried for sure.
I did. But I also decided to play something new to me, and that game is Everybody's Golf Hotshots, which came out last year. I played this on the Nintendo Switch because I can't remember if it was on sale. It might have been on sale. I think it was $30 when I bought it. It might be $30 normally. But this is the game from Hyde and published by Bandai Namco. But originally, this series, the Hotshots Golf series, which is a very long-running series, was developed by Claphands. And then Claphands went off and they made their own game, which you and I are big fans of, which started as Claphands Golf and then became Easy Come Easy Golf. And I have that on the Switch, and I think that game fucking rules. But there was something about like, hey, a new game. I know there's a lot of stuff to unlock in these games. They only start you with 2 characters, but there's a huge roster of people that you can unlock, and costumes and caddies and all this kind of stuff. And I thought, I could go for another arcade style golf game. I could have just gone back to Easy Come Easy Golf and probably had a great time and saw my boy Don Pappas again and been cool with it. But I thought, well, let's play a new video game, and so I picked this one up. It's pretty good. There's some stuff that annoys me about it, and there's some stuff that doesn't feel quite tight enough, or maybe too tight in a way where I feel like there were some things that I was struggling with that I shouldn't have really been struggling with. But overall, it seems like a pretty solid arcade golf game. It is some pretty normal sized course. Like the courses are pretty normal. It does have some crazy modes that you can get into where it has, like like Mario Kart style items that you can get by hitting the ball on the right tiles, and lots of different mode things and modifier things that you can use to change the way the game is played. But I started just playing in the single player. There is like a story mode for every single character. And again, the game only starts you with 2, but I would not say these story modes are very good. It is kind of just talking heads.
How long are they supposed to be? Is it like 18 holes, or is it like a campaign?
No, so like this is like a campaign with different challenges, and it's kind of nice. So I started with the female character her gimmick is she's a cheerleader. So her whole thing is she was just walking by the golf course one day and saw this guy who looked kind of down, and she's like, hey, everything's okay. Golf's like an easy sport. Anybody can play it. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't know a fucking thing about golf.
You're just a stupid cheerleader.
Oh, you're right. I just like put down the thing that you like without thinking. That was so insensitive of me. I'm going to show you how much I care by learning how to play golf. and so that's her story. So everything is very Valley Girl with her, and you hear the same little barks from her every time she golfs, and that's a little bit annoying. But the writing is kind of funny. That she starts out by just going on the practice courses, and she meets up with some of the other weirdo characters that are in the game, and they each have some little dialogue back and forth. I mean, these are just talking heads things with like writing that just shows up on screen. It is nothing crazy. There's no like real cutscenes or anything. You're just reading little text boxes between challenges, but they will give you a challenge of, hey, we're gonna play like the heads up. What's like the heads up golf game where it's like we're just going hole by hole, and you know, if I beat you that hole, I get
match
a
play.
point. Yeah, match play. There you go.
Yeah.
So like, hey, we'll just play match play to 9 holes, and whoever takes like a 2-hole lead wins. And so what's kind of cool is they give you a number of challenges within each chapter that say, hey, win the match play round, or and that's like 1 star, and then another star is win by using the power shot. Okay, and then the last one is, you know, hit a drive of whatever, and so they give you little things to aim for. And the story, they've written story stuff for what happens no matter if you win or lose. So even you can kind of just keep going even when you lose, and do some extra chapter stuff, but then you can also go back and redo those chapters to redo those challenges and get all the stars that get you all the extra goodies by finishing them. And that's been okay so far. So like, she meets this guy and she plays against him, and the first time I played against him I lost because I was kind of struggling with the controls. I'll get to the controls in a second. But she loses to him, and she comes back and she's like, yeah, obviously you won, you're better than me, like you play golf and I don't, so
is this Una?
Sense. No, it's Ailey.
Okay. Is that the like main girl on the cover?
No, it is not the main girl on the cover, which pissed me off because I wanted to play with the main girl on the cover.
I think that's Una.
Okay. No, this is like a blonde girl.
Okay.
But I was very surprised that the girl on the box is not the girl that's the first available one. Anyway, she so she loses the first time, and she's like, oh yeah, obviously you should have beaten me. But then when I went back and beat that chapter, she's like, hey, I won, that's so good, but obviously you were holding back. And I just like some of the ways that they're able to build in lose conditions and continue the story even if she loses. But you know, then she, you know, it gets into a tournament for the first time, and she tries to play that, and she meets a couple new characters, and it's the way of feeding into some of these things. I haven't unlocked any more characters. I'm sure that comes, in fact, I think I was told that comes by finishing chapters or finishing whole.
I'm trying to remember how you unlocked them in Clap Hands.
Clap Hands would have like special match play things,
and you have to beat them, right?
Yeah, like this person challenges you, and if you beat them, now you add them to your roster of people you can play with. And that was pretty cool. I haven't gotten to that point in this game, but I imagine there's some stuff that's very similar. Because again, Clap Hands used to make these games, and I think Hyde is basically just following their template. But there is some stuff that I am not completely jiving with. I think the story stuff is generally pretty good. It's giving me a reason to play with some of these characters that I might not play with, because I thought the guy that you start with looked incredibly boring. I was like, I don't really want to play with him. But if there's a story behind him and he's got something extra to the way he plays, maybe that'll be fun enough that I'll be willing to try playing with him if it helps me unlock other characters. So there might be some good motivation there. I think there's a lot of content in this game, which is good for a golf game.
Yeah, you don't want to be struggling to find shit to do.
Sure. But the controls I've been struggling with a little bit. It is still the triple tap, but they have a couple of different ways that you can go about it. They've got a very traditional, like, hey, here's the bar goes this way. It's on the bottom of the screen. You've seen this before. Hotshots has done this before. But then they have another one that is curved, and it just looks like a radial kind of thing, which seemed kind of cool. But it generally works the same way. It's just like, oh, hey, we turned the bar on the bottom into a curved bar, so it kind of goes up as you swing back, and it just looks aesthetically interesting. And it's like, okay, I'll go with that one. But it actually functions differently than the traditional one, and I found myself struggling with it all the time. Bobby, do you remember playing Wii Sports for the first time and doing the bowling, and having that time where you felt like you were doing everything right, and then it would just give that pop-up of like, hey, you fucked up. And you went, how did I fuck up? I don't.
Or the ball would just drop by your foot and it wouldn't go anywhere. Yeah.
And it would go, hey, dumbass, the way you're supposed to do it is hit A and the Z trigger. And I'm like, that's what I was fucking doing. And they're like, oh, you let go too soon. I'm like, what? This game doesn't have the pop-up, but so in the traditional triple tap system, the power goes all the way to the end, and then if you didn't press anything, it would come back. It would start to come back to the beginning. So it just kind of oscillates, all the way up, all the way back, all the way up, all the way back. This radial system goes all the way up, and if it hits 100%, the 101%, no, it just nothing happens. So it's like a false swing. You don't lose a swing off it, but it doesn't go back down. So when there's like a threshold of like, well, I didn't get 100, I missed 100, but then it came back down to 99, so I still got a pretty good shot. You don't get that on this one. You either get the 100 or you didn't shoot, and you have to just do it again.
So is that like, all right, if it's 100 or nothing, does that mean it's just if you move your cursor closer? So like if you play up on a 3-wood, in the past, it'd be like, okay, cool. I want to hit this bar. I want to try and hit when it's closer to 70% to basically play up. Are you telling me now that you just place the cursor on the green or on the fairway, and you want to get to 100 on every shot?
No. I think I'm not explaining it well enough. Like the original system, the gauge will move up and down in power level. That it will count up to 100, and then it will start counting back down. And whenever you hit it, that's the amount of power you put into it. This curved one only goes up. So if I don't hit my power,
you don't get a recover. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't come back down to let me try to hit it.
You need to hit it before it gets all the way up. Otherwise, you're crushing it.
Oh, no. It just otherwise it empties the bar and goes, oh, you didn't do the mini.
Okay.
Do the mini game again. So I just had so many false hits of, well, I'm waiting to 100%, and then I missed it by a frame, and it goes, well, nope, you didn't actually swing at all. Try it again. I'm like, fuck, man, this sucks. Instead of going back to the classic mode, and it was like, oh, I missed 100%, but then it came back down to like 98 or 99 or 90. Yeah, it came back down, and I still hit it, and I got good power off the shot. So it just was a much more frustrating experience, and I didn't understand why you would build it that way. It was very stupid. And then they have a third way that they've built just for this game that they call an advanced mode that I didn't play at all, and that was like a orange circle that shows up around the ball, and it looked really complicated to the point of like I don't want to touch any of this bullshit.
But they don't have the swing stick option.
No, there is no stick option at all, which I'm fine with because I don't particularly like those.
I love those. But I don't know if I'd like it in an arcade setting.
Sure.
But when you started to talk about like these different modes, I'm like, oh, they're just going to give agency to the player. Like, you've played golf games, you're playing this one. Here's the default. Here's the one that you might know from EA, and here's a new weird one that we've built because we can.
And it seems like maybe the thought is there, but it just I feel like the traditional one is the only real one to my eyes.
Isn't it
I
weird?
Certainly don't understand that middle version. That seems stupid to me.
Like right now, if I downloaded this on the PC, I could play this with my controller, or I could play it with my keyboard and mouse. What I'm a little surprised by, especially with the Switch being as popular as it is, and with the Steam Deck being really popular and a bunch of other handhelds, I'm kind of surprised that more games just don't have a default touch option. Like, that's not how I want to play it, but knowing that, and the reason I bring that up is there's a lot of people who are playing games now that their first gaming device was an iPad, you know? And so I'm just kind of surprised that they haven't brought that over the way that we became accustomed to controllers on consoles when we were playing them, and that type of interface.
Well, part of me imagines that it's because those people just aren't ever buying a console. Like they're playing on an iPad and they're still playing on an iPad.
Well, not anymore. It's like a house. Like, you're never going to own a home anymore. You're never going to own a console.
Right.
Like it's you've been priced out by the millennials. We blame the boomers for houses. Yeah. Gen Z and Gen Alpha will blame the millennials and Gen X for not having home consoles any longer.
So the other thing I wanted to mention with Everybody's Golf Clap Hands is that or Everybody's Golf Hotshots is that it feels very strict. That if you're off by even just a little bit, it's going to make a huge difference.
That's what I read in the reviews.
Shots, and it seems punitive almost. That wow, I was like, hey, I lined up the shot pretty well. I hit the power the right time. When you hit your power right and you hit the like when you're actually supposed to strike the ball right, you do the triple tap correctly. It even gives you a little cutscene where it slow motions and you hit the ball and your club's on fire and the ball shoots off and it goes nice shot and it's
Oh
fuck
yeah.
yeah, I nailed it. And even when I do that, I've had shots that have gone wildly off course from where they should have gone. And I go, well, was it a nice shot? What the fuck are you talking about?
I
And then some other times where if you fuck up the timing, like not even a lot, just a little bit, your ball will sail away, like completely slice. And like this kind of sucks. Like I am the beginner. I'm playing the first challenges here. Why is this game so difficult? And then they go, well, you can go to the shop and you can buy the beginner ball and you can buy the beginner club set, and those will help you. Like they have a slightly easier impact zone, and you'll be able to play the game a little bit easier. Like this
that
doesn't
sucks.
feel it doesn't feel good to me at all. Like it
On
just
that breath, is the camera? So I was reading the reviews because it's got middling reviews, and that's the reason
yeah.
I didn't pick this thing up last year. But people are saying two things. They're saying exactly that it's very unforgiving, but they're also saying outside of the controls, it's the camera control that they think sucks. Like the camera control is not good apparently in this thing.
There are a handful of camera angles that you can use for your golfer, and I don't mind that. I think the default one sucks, but I
Yeah.
eventually changed to one that I went, oh, this is like the normal golf camera that I'm used to. The problem is when you do that camera that goes, let me see where my shot's going. And in every other golf game that I've played, you can pan the camera around and kind of see where your ball's going to go or what obstacles are around it. And in this game, it locks it where like you go to that camera and that's exactly where you're going, and you can't see anything else. And that's a real problem if I want to see my approach a little bit better, or if I want to try to gauge, is there a bunker in front of me? Is there a hill that I need to get over? Is there a tree that's crossing
I
this
would
path?
argue that's the most important part of these games.
Totally. And you get some, I mean, you get an idea of that when you use the normal camera view because you see where you're going to hit the ball, but just not having that flyover camera being a free flying camera is really rough. And what they
Yeah.
also do is if for like shorter shots, they will they will flip the camera. So you'll now be looking back at your own character. Like they're angling from behind the ball, looking back at you. And so now everything's flipped because now I'm like, oh well, I need to hit this more to the right, but then oh wait, no, the camera's behind the ball, so I
Dude,
actually need to hit it to the left.
everything you've just said. So like you and I were talking before we started recording. I told you on the Thor I've been playing the GameCube Mario Golf Toadstool Tour.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, hey, it's pretty punitive. These courses are rough. Everything that you were just talking about on like, hey, I got the animation, it was a good hit, but it went off this way. The camera's rough, the controls are finicky, and when you putt, it's the ball's POV back to you.
In the Mario game too?
Yep. Everything that you're talking about with this, the gripes I've had with that game are almost 100% aligned. So I just wonder, I think you have that game. I'm pretty sure you have that game. You should you should fire that up and let me know if it's the same as what you're experiencing here. So the other thing I'll just, and I don't want to bury the lead if you're going to take this one, but so far there's two strikes for me.
Yeah.
There's the controls, there's the camera, and I'm pretty sure there's a third strike here.
The third strike is a little bit more personal.
I think mine is too.
Okay. So what happened to me is there was a particular course or a particular hole that I was playing in one of the challenges with my cheerleader girl. and one of the hole, like the green was up on kind of a hill, and there's bunkers basically all around it, and I landed in the bunker. Hey, it happens. And so I used my pitching wedge, my sand wedge, and I angled the ball and I put the backspin on it, and I tried to like I need this thing to go basically straight up in the air to get onto the green, and I hit it, and there wasn't a place to go. It just immediately like hit the wall and hit the wall of sand and hill in front of me, and then rolled back down. And it went, yep, fuck you, try it again. Okay, I'll try it again. And so I tried it again, and it didn't work. And I tried it again, and it didn't work. And then the last time, I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm going to try something a little different with the physics here. And I put a bunch of topspin on the ball, and I angled to try to hit it directly into the hill. And that one worked for some fucking reason, where I smashed it into the wall enough at the right angle where it at least bounced up and got onto the green. And so that sucks. I think there is a way to declare the ball unplayable because the opponent did it one time. I didn't find a way to do that myself. And I'm sure I could just like hit it behind me and get it out onto the fairway and then hit it over. But it's like this is not the way. Like, this is also like one of the early challenges, and you're going to fuck me like this? That's ridiculous. But the worst part is that I played in the tournament, because this also happened in the fucking tournament, of course, on the very first hole where I went like plus 6. And I was at least able to, like, I don't know if it's just the rubber banding or what, but I was able to still win the tournament, even after that disastrous first hole. But what happened later is that the person, the CPU player that I was playing with, had the same exact thing happen to them. But instead of declaring it unplayable, they hit 6 times, and you don't get to tell them, no, skip all this shit. So I just watched her hit it into the wall for like the same kind of bunker over and over and over again before she finally like accidentally figured it out and got it back up on the rough or whatever. And like, this is ridiculous that the game allows this to happen. That this isn't just playing golf poorly. This is the way they set up this hole, or the way they set up this type of bunker. It's basically impossible. And the only reason I got out of it is because I played it completely differently than I was supposed to play it. And like, this is this supposed to be fun? Like, what are we doing here?
Well, miraculously, you've yet to really, I guess, air the biggest grievance I have with this game.
Oh?
I told you 2 strikes. 3 strikes is too many for me. And the third strike is...
What's the third strike?
No Pappas, no sale.
Well, yes. I mean, that's implicit, I suppose.
Yeah, like you can't let me touch the sun and then give me an eternal winter with this game.
To be fair, there's a ton of characters in this game, and I've seen only a small handful.
Are you playing as Pac-Man?
I am not. I think Pac-Man was only a pre-order bonus, or maybe he shows up later. I know Pac-Man is in this game, but so far I still only have the 2 people that I can play as.
Okay.
But some of the other characters I've seen, like, they're interesting. I think they could be fun. And I especially like that there is this story mode stuff that I can go into each of them and have all these different challenges. And, you know, even if the writing's not amazing, at least there's something there to chew on. There is no Don Pappas story mode in Clap Hands Golf, in Easy Come, Easy Golf. There's no, I want to learn about Don Pappas.
Legend.
I want to learn about his dirty dealings. I want somebody to like call him on his cell phone and to be like, hey, you know, cut that horse's head off and put it in the guy's bed. Like, I want Don Pappas to be like a real shitbag. And that game isn't giving it to me. All I can do is imply that he's a shitbag based on his outfit.
Dude, I don't think there's a bigger collection of shitbags in a golf game than any of the, like, they Clap Hands Golf or Everybody's Golf. Pound for pound, Easy Comes, Jesus Christ.
Whatever. I know, it's a terrible name. I wish they would just call it Clap Hands Golf.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Yeah. But in all of the games I've seen, There's not a better rogues gallery of dirtbags than these games. Like, they have the dirtiest dudes out here golfing.
So that is kind of that implicit third strike. It's not necessarily that, oh, I can't play as Don Pappas, no sale. It's, I have the video game that is like one of the best golf games to me on the Switch.
Yep.
And I can just play it right now.
Yep.
I could just go back to Clap Hands Golf. There's still
That's the thing about these games, man. Like, these golf games are if you find a good golf game, it becomes eternal.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you can go, I mean, you could play the Game Boy Color Mario Golf right now and you would feel just as good about it as you probably did 20 years ago.
I would have a much better time.
Yeah, that's what that's the thing. Like, for some reason, golf games, I feel, have way more staying power than, like, if you play a football game from 25 years ago, it's going to feel like shit because the advancements that you get in a football game. Well, I guess NFL Blitz is 20 years old.
Yes and no, because like NFL Blitz is great.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking about 1980s as 20 years ago. That's
but
my
yes,
problem.
I mean, if you're talking about like, hey, I'm playing like Madden 2002 versus playing the new Madden. That's going to feel different, especially when you're playing those old games that have rosters, like real rosters in it, and you feel like it's hard to go back to that because I want to play with the new guys. Like, if I'm playing a baseball game, I want to play with fucking Shohei Ohtani. That guy's awesome. But like, I don't want to play with these guys who I barely remember from my childhood. Like those games can be fun, but like, I want to play with the new rosters, so that means you have to buy the new game. Golf games, I would say, even like the PGA Tour ones, like the Tiger Woods ones, like it matters a little bit less who you're playing as. I don't know, maybe people really idolize golfers, but it's like, are you playing Tiger Woods or are you not playing Tiger Woods, right? But then you also have all these other games like Easy Come Easy Golf and Everybody's Golf Hotshots, and it doesn't matter. Like, they're arcade games. There isn't a roster. I mean, there's a roster there, but it's not real people, so it is kind of eternal. I can always go back and play with Don Pappas or whoever. And maybe we talked about it on the preview of the backyard baseball, but there's like the Pablo whatever kid, and it's like, so okay, you can kind of build your own lore around some of these things as well, and make those easier to go back to as well. But it was, I wanted to play something new. I liked the idea of, here's a game that I can unlock a bunch of stuff in, and I like.
We both said we were going to play it, so I'm glad you did.
Yeah, and I might still go back to it every once in a while because I have it and it's there. But I think the next time I have the urge to go play a golf game, I will probably just load up Easy Come Easy Golf again. And
totally,
it's not like that game's perfect. That game also has like a bunch of fucking stupid menus in the same way that this game has a bunch of fucking stupid menus, and it's really hard to just say, can I fucking golf? Can you please let me golf?
I know. That is the one thing that I will say about this genre or this series is it feels very dense and not in the way I want it to. And like, when you get into the golf, it's good, but you got to get through a lot to get there. I will give them some credit. I do think that being mobile first kind of cut into some of that on Easy Come Easy Golf or whatever they're calling it now.
Yeah.
But still, I remember, I think we actually played it back in the early days of the show. It was the one that came out on PS4. It was everybody, like, I remember getting it from Redbox and playing that with you. Mm-hmm. And we sent some clips to each other. That was riddled with a terrible overworld and menus. I remember that being really rough.
That was incomprehensible.
Yeah,
to play
that was
game.
Awful.
And this game is at least better than that. Everybody's Golf Hotshots is better than that in that you don't have some open world hub that you're walking around to do things. It is all just menu based, but there are just so many fucking menus that do not feel like they need to be there. It is, when you like even a game that I love, like Smash Brothers, when you open up that game,
it's a lot.
It's just, here's this red menu, and here's this blue menu, and here's the yellow menu. And I'm like, there's so many fucking menus. Can I just play the fucking video game?
I know, man.
And this game suffers that too, of so many different things that, like, what kind of golf do you want to play? It's like, can I just play fucking golf?
That's been one of the eye-opening things going back to the Thor, is playing some games from like the PS2 era is like, dude, the menu, like I go into settings before I play any game just to tweak things. Settings had like 3 items in it. Menus were very straightforward. Take us back to more pure time. Give us a better menu system again.
So my real gambit tonight, as you might have realized, is if I can get Bobby hot about talking about golf games, maybe we don't have to talk about how fucking stupid Microsoft and Sony are being right now. And lo and behold, I've wasted all our time.
I think unfortunately, I don't think that those conversations are going to slow down.
Correct. And we will have more time to talk about the stupidity.
Well, I mean, even since the big stuff on Monday, like there was a bunch of shit that came out today that sucks. The wild
story from today that I will mention, because we do have a couple minutes left, is the idea that Microsoft is gutting id Software and laying off their engineers, like the people who make the Doom, like the Doom engine, like that's id Tech, motherfuckers. To lay off all those people. And now the headline I saw that was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, is that they are forcing id to use Unreal Engine. Like, what are you doing?
Not only that, dude, I think all of this, like, there's no, like, I can't make sense of any of it, which sucks, right? Like, all that shit fucking sucks. But what I will say is their studios that they were basically like moving to independence or to new parent companies that haven't put out a single game since being acquired, like literally have not shipped anything. That's not all their fault. But then a studio like Obsidian, which I would argue has probably been one of the more fruitful companies for Microsoft. They put out 3 games last year. 3 video games came out last year. And now they're moving them. The thing that I think it sucks is that you can put anybody anywhere you need to within a company, but you're not going to get what you want out of them. It doesn't mean because they're good at making something over here that applies to the content that you're putting them over here. People have to be passionate, creative. They have to care about this. And it can't just be my feet are being held to the flames. So like when I see, like, I know that you didn't play Avowed. I know people kind of like dogged on Avowed, but Avowed was a new thing. It was really well done. It brought a lot of cool quality of life stuff. I enjoyed my time with it quite a bit. And they were making another one. And now they're like, nope, you're making Fallout. And like this doubling down on dead franchises. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, Halo is never going to be what it was in the early 2000s. It's just not going to happen. Gears of War, not going to happen. And you're forcing, like, even saying that you're going to put Halo underneath Activision, like, you're not going to make these things better, and you're certainly not going to make studios more efficient by taking them off of the engine they use to make things and making them use one that's kind of dog shit.
Well, I mean, it's short-sighted, but the reason that it works in the short term is that I see the vision. I understand when somebody goes, hey, all these fucking kids and like at video game school, they're all using Unreal because because Epic has gotten into the schools and has gotten them to use it. So that is the one that they're used to using. Let's have our studios use Unreal so we can get that pipeline in faster. We can hire more people who know the tech better. We can get them in faster to do that stuff. But also they're not hiring anybody. They're slashing all the jobs. But the long-term view that you could/should take is, hey, we've got this studio over here, id, who knows a little something about making game engines. What if we tried to make our like own Unreal, or like turn the id engine into an Unreal Engine thing that can also be an alternative that goes out to people? Like, why wouldn't you invest in that stuff rather than having to continue to pay licensing fees to Epic every time
you know what I think it is?
Unreal. Like, what are you doing?
So Will Smith, not the slapping kind, but the tech kind. He was talking about, so they just talked about something with Rocket League that Epic owns. Yeah. And I guess Rocket League has been on like Unreal Engine 3 or 4 forever. Sure. And they just debuted, because cars are shiny and round, Unreal Engine 6 with Rocket League. and like, hey, we're going to jump 5, go to 6. He was saying that the bullshit with 6 is, and again, I'm quoting somebody else kind of haphazardly here. I have not researched myself, but allegedly it's just like rotten with like AI tools. And
makes sense. Yeah,
makes sense, right?
Why wouldn't it?
And so I think that why wouldn't you make smaller? You're gutting all your people and you're going to make up that deficit one way or the other. Hey, move to Unreal and you'll be using AI to build because we don't have to pay 35 of you for one person allegedly.
Right. And it was only a couple months ago we were talking about Asha and the letter that came out, and I tried to be understanding. It still sucked, but I tried to be understanding that, hey, I remember even saying, and I regret saying it now, certainly, but I was like, she's saying the right things. Like, I don't know.
She did say the right things,
but she is saying the right things, and I understand, the direction that she wants to go, or the direction she's saying she wants to go. And she's talking about how, hey, we're not trying to put a bunch of AI bullshit into Xbox, and there's that worry because she came from the AI world. But these kinds of moves that are happening now, even though she's still not saying, hey, we're going to put a bunch of AI shit into Microsoft and into Xbox, it's just the actions. Like, hey, you're cutting all these people. How are you going to make it up? It's, the other shoe's going to drop at some point where it's going to go, oh, yeah, well, we're using AI tools. Or, even if it's more subtle in the way that you're kind of talking about, oh, we're using Unreal Engine 6, which happens to have a bunch of AI bullshit in it. Like, it is that kind of subtle way of sneaking it in. And it's not like anybody's not noticing. Like, it's very obvious that all these people are losing their jobs and these giant headlines are coming out. And that's why it's also, and we certainly don't have time to talk about this, but that's why it also seems like crazy timing for Sony to fuck up in such a miraculously stupid way.
And they keep fucking doing it
about the physical game stuff. And it's like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. And taking down PSN libraries, and like, I understand that these things probably had to happen for like profit shit, or it's all stockholder shit that actually probably doesn't. I don't understand why you do that, other than number always has to go up. But especially with the timing right now, Microsoft is handing you this on a platter to go like, hey, everything we do sucks. Everybody hates us. You're the other big console. Like, Nintendo, is its own thing, and it always has been. But like, everything is going Sony's way, and they went, oh, let us trip over our own dick, and now get everybody pissed off at us too.
But the thing, none of this makes sense. Microsoft doubling down on exclusives while gutting the studios that will make them exclusives, thinking that people are going to want to come back to their hardware because of their exclusives, when hardware is $1,000. And they've already said before all this stuff started happening, hey, our next console is going to be like $1,500. It's going to be a PC, basically.
And this isn't us saying that hey, life under Phil was better. Like, I think the decisions that Phil Spencer made got us to this situation. They spread themselves too thin by buying up all these places because they didn't have any video games. So if you buy all these studios to make video games, but then they weren't really supporting those studios to be able to make games, it was this self-fulfilling prophecy. And now that Asha's here and she's going, well, it's slash and burn everything. Like, it fucking sucks.
And she's going to get all the bonuses.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And there's headlines going around about Bernie Sanders talking about Xboxes. So, of course, everybody wants to talk about that. But, he's still making good points. Look at how much fucking profits Microsoft is making. Like, they made so much money last year. They're making so much money this year. They're giving giant bonuses to all these CEOs. And yet the actual people who are doing the work continue to get slashed and cut and lose their jobs. And
here's what I'll say: form unions everywhere you can. Yes. Form unions everywhere you can. If you have a great idea, protect it at all costs. And I feel really bad because I was very enchanted by the Game Pass promise, and I thought I was shitting in high cotton, as they say, whenever I heard oh, cool. All these studios that make really fucking good things are just going to always have games that will be on Game Pass, and I will have games aplenty. And now I'm watching these studios and that I deeply care about go through poor decisions. And the last point I'll make tonight, at least, is how fucking bad do you have to be at leadership to have all of those pieces in your hand and not be able to produce something worth note? Like, that is fucking wild to have the Activisions, the Bethesdas, the Double Fines, the Ninja Theories, all of them that have had good things under your, you should have had new shit coming out every month, given that much stuff. And they couldn't make it work. And I think that we were all just like, hey, Phil's got those cool shirts on and he's a gamer, baby. What's on his shelf right now? What's behind Phil? Oh, closures and disappointment. That's what's behind him, because he's out fucking living his best life now. And it's not just him. It's not fair to blame one person. Totally. Microsoft is
lots
huge.
of golden parachutes going around.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
It is frustrating. And I think we all fell in that trap. I know I mentioned it at the time, like years ago, but because we saw it happen with Netflix and we saw it happen with all these other services. Like they're loss leaders. Like that happens with all of these, Silicon Valley places. Uber did this, and they all do it. Hey, we make no money, but we put out something that's popular, and we hope to put out an IPO and get bought or whatever, and then we don't have to worry about it not making money. And then it gets when somebody decides that it has to make money, then you shove a bunch of ads in it or jack up the prices of things. So there was certainly a time, and I was like Game Pass to give it credit, Game Pass went on longer than I expected it to be good. It was
good for a long time.
We said this many times. The best deal in video games was Game Pass for a very long time. And it took a while for it to get shitty, both in the lack of new stuff for it and the cost taking away of old shit, and the cost that continually went up. And it took a while. So good on them for keeping it good for a while. But I think
it's about to get shut down or real bad. I think it's only going to be first party games, if that.
Probably, something like that. And this, it was inevitable. This kind of shit happens. And shitification is a term that is getting realer every year as things get worse.
This is one of the most disappointing generations of gaming hardware, and just like there's been some real high highs that I've enjoyed quite a bit. But this is largely, and Nintendo excluded from that. I think for Sony and Microsoft.
Are they though? Like Nintendo certainly has its share of things. I know this is much less of a big deal than Sony and Microsoft, but Nintendo talked about Mario Kart Tour shutting down. So they're shutting down. Yeah. They're shutting down some things too. It's not all sunshine and rainbows for Nintendo either. They certainly make baffling decisions that or just make weird own goals, or just completely miss an easy opportunity all the time. So I don't want to just sit here and go, well, Nintendo's perfect and everybody else sucks. But Nintendo has not made a giant botch job recently, like
give it all time. I bet.
Have. Absolutely, like that their day will come too. But for now, it at least seems like the better prospect. Yeah.
Well,
video games.
We'll continue to dip our toe into that conversation. We've got a lot of thoughts out there that you can listen to. Most recently, go to the deep dive on Android handhelds. You'll hear us talk a little bit more about just taking control of what you got there. And listen, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm just telling you, if you care about this stuff, find ways to get it. It's out there.
Not telling you to actively commit crimes, but I am saying this Thor is a pretty cool device.
Thor is great. Thor, I mean, it's really fucking good. It's my favorite little handheld I got around here, and I'll have a few more to throw in the mix and show those off here. Marge Simpson, I think they're neat.
The Analog Pocket's great. All those other devices that Bobby mentioned are great. Like there's lots of cool things out there to play a lot of cool video games, and I have a sneaking suspicion that you out there have not played them all. And you could probably spend the rest of your life playing old video games and have a great time, and not even have to worry about any of this new bullshit that's coming out or not coming out.
Absolutely.
If you want
Chase mentioned it. We played Foiling Bound on Monday. That's a cool game. You should check that out. You can watch our stream. Tonight was gaming and griping about mostly the games that are good, some of the things that we don't like in golf games, and of course what's going on in the industry. We'll be back on Monday with some fun things to play. I don't know what we'll be playing on Monday, but I got a couple ideas I'm looking at right now that we can fire up.
Yeah,
Chase.
And next week is a deep dive. I gotta figure out what we're gonna do.
Next week is a deep dive already. Crazy. Yeah. You are a busy individual. What have you been busy with?
Well, I haven't been busy for a little bit because had kind of some vacation vibes. Took a couple weeks off from Chasey K Plays. Pierce is on vacation right now and just getting back next week. So I think pilot program's coming back or recording again next week. That'll be on Dragon Ball, which will be our 50th episode of pilot program. That'll be really exciting.
Very cool.
Chasey K Plays. I'm still figuring it out. I was even brainstorming a little bit with Bobby before the podcast tonight of what I'm going to play for that. I've got a couple of ideas in my mind that I'm interested in. I think there's one that's probably going to be the right call. But I look forward to putting out some more stuff for Chasey K Plays. And then I'll mention it this time. I have another YouTube channel called Common Knowledge MTG, where I look at common Magic the Gathering cards and tell you if they're good in the Pauper format or not. That's the format where you can only play with common cards. It's pretty cool, and through no fault of my own, outside of just continually putting out videos every day, that audience is growing. Like, we're accidentally getting to 250 subscribers. And I was like, why are people watching these? They weren't made to really be watched. They were made to just do a fun thing. But people are commenting and watching, and like, oh, that's kind of cool, kind of scary. But if you would like to be one of those people, you can go to Common Knowledge MTG on YouTube and follow me there.
Oh yeah. Well, go play Magic, you nerds, and come back on Monday to watch us play a game